Folks, we are following some breaking news on this Friday morning. A worldwide Microsoft outage affecting just about everything, every part of our daily life on this Friday, including airlines, including airports, banks, hospitals in some cases, news organizations as well. Keeping things here somewhat rudimentary. You can see this is actually what a lot of companies are waking up to this morning. It's called the blue screen of death in the corporate world. Basically means Microsoft isn't operating. This is what the city of Charlotte's website currently looks like. You can't really tell, but I'm getting a big old error message giving you some indication of what you're facing as you wake up this morning. Definitely check in with your employer. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go and check in with Richard Devane, because he's at the spot here in Charlotte that's really seeing the most impacts, and that's Charlotte Douglas. At some point, Richard, earlier, there's a full ground stop. Is that still the case?
Now, as you've reported earlier, Ben, good morning to you. First of all, good Friday morning, everyone. That American Airlines had said that they have made communication, but as far as flights taking off, we have had no confirmation of flights taking off. I'm standing in front of folks waiting on the Delta line right here. These folks they've actually, this is makeshift. All of these lines are makeshift this morning, makeshift on a Friday morning. They have people stretching back what would normally be the line that you would be exiting, coming out off of a flight, but now they have it here so people can wrap around to go and get to the Delta ticket counter. Now, as Ruben pans over there, you can see they still have the blue screens of death. I can tell you that so far Delta has announced that it has canceled or is about to cancel a flight to Atlanta. Why is that important? Just like Charlotte is a major hub for American Airlines, Delta's major hub is Atlanta. So there are a lot of folks who are trying to fly from other parts. They fly from Charlotte, for instance, to Atlanta, then go other places in the country. That first one of those flights have been canceled. That's going to cause headaches and more backups. Now, we were telling you that they were letting people go through TSA, and as you can see, that is an absolutely packed airport here at Charlotte Douglas. I actually saw someone who works on operations just in the last few minutes say, I don't know what happened. These lines right here that you're looking at, these folks, these are makeshift lines because folks are having troubles getting just to the ticket counters. Spirit Airlines, which is now up, you can see in the distance over there. Earlier, they were having connectivity problems with the app. When they got to the kiosk, they were having problems there, and then at the counter, they were told they were having problems, but they are trying to work through that. The thing is, they're letting folks go through to the TSA. That is really running very smoothly today, but it's the other side. When you get to the gates, that's where a lot of people are having issues. We see these folks are waiting for, I don't even know, you folks are waiting for JetBlue, right? Delta. So what have they told you so far? May I ask you a question first of all? How are you doing this morning?
Doing well, how are you?
You've been in line for a minute.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
What have they told you so far?
Systems are down. Just kind of going with the flow at this point. All 6 a.m. flights are canceled, I believe.
6 a.m. flights. So where are you going to?
We're trying to get to Cincinnati.
Are you flying to Atlanta? Was that the plan? Those flights have been canceled already, right?
Yep, it has been canceled, yeah.
Long day?
A little bit, yeah. You know, trying to
You'll be okay.
Keep him occupied.
Are you okay? That's the question.
Say yes, bro.
He said yes. He's tired. You guys get to your destination saying, okay, thank you. A little journalist there. He wants to grab the mic. At least he can smile. A lot of folks taking this in stride. But yes, I can tell you guys, one of the tough things is a lot of folks just don't know. Even some airport operators don't know. Some folks over here standing in line just waiting to get to their destination. Also Delta folks trying to catch that connection to go to their other connections. But as I've just told you, the Delta flight to Atlanta, one of them at least, has been canceled. Other flights probably canceled. I spoke to some American folks, American Airlines folks, and just right before we came on air, and they told me, and this was in the last 5 minutes, she said, we don't know, and that's people who are putting people through to the gates. They say they don't know, so maybe American needs to let them know. I just spoke to a flight attendant. She said that she had no idea she was going there. I spoke to a United pilot. He said he has no idea when he's taking off. He's just going to try and get to his gate and see. That is the situation right here. A lot of folks, as you can see, I've never seen the airport this crowded. We have had issues this week, we know, where there was a lot of concerns about overcrowding, fire hazard concerns, but just as crazy as it looks right here inside, you have that many folks that we've seen already make it through TSA who are waiting at gates. The issue is that most of the times there are flights, if you've ever been in Charlotte Douglas or any other other airport, you'll see that as flights take off, if people leave, it lessens a little bit, but if no flights are taking off, you can only imagine the scene that lies right beyond the gates right here. This is going to be an ongoing issue. I can tell you right now, just from basic experience, if everything were to go back in the next 30 or so minutes, a lot of folks are still going to have massive headaches throughout the day. We don't know when those first flights will start to take off. When they do, then you have that ripple effect that agents, ticket agents, gate agents, flight attendants, pilots, airport staff and crew will be working throughout the day to try to help accommodate these folks. Many of them, so far, people have been taking it in stride. A lot of that is not really knowing what's going on. That's the situation right here at Charlotte Douglas. Bleak. I would tell you what to do if I knew. Just keep your fingers crossed and say a prayer. We'll send it back to you.
And Richard, for the folks at home, I think you've been with us for more than for about 20 years. So for you to say you have never seen Charlotte Douglas like this, and you have covered many a holiday at that airport. I don't have to tell you, but not only is there this worldwide outage that's causing this ground stop, it is also Charlotte Douglas on a Friday in the summer while it's under construction.
Yep. Yeah, I want to even talk about that, the fact that American Airlines priority customers are now in this particular, all the way at the end of the terminal. That's where I actually spoke to some folks who said they don't know when the flights are taking off, even though they're pushing people through to get their tickets and go through TSA. So there's that to add. The people who normally come to this airline, if you don't come every day, you're walking here, even if you've flown as recently as a month ago. Things have changed because the American folks are now right over here as well. So it is going to be massive headaches throughout the day.
And so, Richard, just one more thing. So from what we understand, we see what you describe as the chaos behind you. Folks are getting through TSA. That's not the problem. But then once they get on the other side, what we can't see is they're getting on the other side, but then they don't really have a place to go after that.
Yeah, and I want to say this. I want to be very careful what I say. I've spoken to a number of folks who work at Delta Airlines, American, United, and off the record, they have told me, or just one-on-one, they have said they're concerned about the fact that what's happening on the other end because of the fact that folks are being put on the other side and their flights are not taking off yet. So when that first bank of flights goes or are supposed to go and it doesn't, then you'll have people lining up for the second bank of flights or the second flight scheduled to leave from those gates. That's going to cause some concerns.
Understandably so. All right, Richard, keep us posted. All right, folks, again, we're following the breaking news from overnight into this morning. A massive Microsoft outage impacting airlines, news organizations. You can only imagine. Just across from where Richard is standing, across the drop-off zone there at Charlotte Douglas, is the rental car portion of the airport. It also having a number of problems as well. So it's not just folks taking off, it's also people landing, people trying to get into town. Dusty Richards standing by. She's live there. You've been speaking to some of the folks there, and we can see the lines behind you.
That's right, Ben. It's the same story here in the rental car area, and these lines have actually been getting a lot longer, a lot worse, as people from out of town are trying to rent cars, but they can't. You can see the difference between how packed it is here, and then you come over to the counters, and nobody is at the counters because they cannot rent cars out to anyone. I spoke to an employee who said anyone who has made a reservation within the last 24 hours, they cannot access those reservations, therefore people cannot rent out cars. We checked the parking garage area as well, and those cars are backed up as people return their cars. So really everything is just at a standstill right now. After talking to passengers, they're just saying they're here to try to rent a car, and they've been here since last night. So people have been here overnight at the airport. They are stranded. They don't know what to do, and employees are kind of in the dark as well, as no one can access their computers, access those reservations. So people have said that they've been able to get into the app for rentals and make a reservation, but obviously once you get here, you can't do anything. And so right now we're just kind of waiting for answers. As Richard was saying, people not even be able to go out of town and get on their flights. So really right now, everything is grounded at a stop, even down here where people are stranded in Charlotte, literally, because they can't even get on the roads right now with a rental car. But of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Live from CLT, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
All right, Destiny, and folks, keep in mind, this is not just a Charlotte thing. I mean, this is happening at airports across the country and around the world as well. So expect that it's going to be a mess travel-wise, at least.